salary doesn't make any employee rich, but only gives him the opportunity to take care of his needs. Now, when you owe him this salary and benefits, you are exposing him to temptation and the vagaries of daily living. The National Judicial Council, NJC, has condemned in very strong terms failure by some state governments to pay retirement benefits to judges. The council described the action of the affected states as worrisome and condemnable in all ramifications. Question: are state governors listening, Yusuf?
It's really sad because when you know the enormity of work our judges do,
yeah,
you must have had, lately when the Chief Justice of Nigeria was talking about Nigerians, that it's only in Nigeria where even bedroom disagreement, every minor thing
goes on the social media,
must come to the court.
Yeah.
That I think he said Nigeria is probably the most litigious, country in the whole world.
That's interesting.
Depending on the number, he was talking about the number.
I would have thought
cases.
Nigerians were not as litigious as the CJN had said.
No, he said it.
Oh, really?
Because almost every issue. Okay, the way we do things in many other countries, if you go to court and you lose, you won't bother. But Nigerians will make sure they get to the Supreme Court, no matter how trivial that matter is. So many things that shouldn't even ever get to the Supreme Court,
yeah,
you insist that you go until you get to the last court
yeah,
of the, and when you get to the last court of the land, then our people will still not
look for a way of seeing God.
They will now be talking about political solution, out of court judgment. That is to say, where they disagree with the court judgment. But back to the serious issues we are talking about, believe me, it's very sad. I had one retired judge, I think there was a column, I think it should be Lasisi or Lagunju, this column that I read recently, and one retired judge was not even afraid, was not even ashamed. He said,
he said it as it is.
Openly.
Yeah.
That here we are human beings. We have school fees to pay, we have this to do, we have this, but this is what happens to us. That people need to know that many of them don't have houses of their own. Many of them have served and served very well.
Yeah.
Many of them, that do you believe that many of them after service, we have to look for friends or anybody that can assist them to feed. Soccer. To feed. So when that happens, what are we saying? So we are saying our judges, if we are not taking care of them, it sends very dangerous signals to those that are serving.
If you are not taking care of your judges, the unscrupulous would. And there will be bedlam.
Of course.
Even about putting in 35 years in public life and time for you to withdraw and go home. You can't have peace. That's crazy.
Absolutely. And it is very disheartening because, you see, for anyone to be entitled to gratuity, that means that you have put in the number of years as you should, then you have worked, you have given a very meritorious service. And if with all of that, some persons feel that you don't deserve your gratuity, you should beg for your gratuity, then we need to ask them questions. Questions because Nigeria, we are saddled with the issues of corruption. And the government of the day is said to be doing everything possible to bring down, to arrest corruption. How do we do that?
Yeah.
Those who are going to be passing the judgment are not paid. Now, my boss is retired. His gratuity is not paid. I am still in service. What do you think I'll be doing? I'll be smart. I want to prepare for the unknown. But if I'm sure that once I'm retired, my pension is there, my gratuity is there waiting for me, I will do the right thing. So we have our own ways of indirectly telling people to be, to be corrupt. And then we will tell ourselves we are fighting corruption. This is working at cross purpose.
I'm wondering, owing a former governor his gratuity.
Who does that? Can it happen in Nigeria? When even our members of the house, sitting allowance, snoring allowance, sleepy allowance.
You pay them.
You pay them. It's bad, and I think at this time the government should address it and let it not repeat itself if they want to truly arrest corruption in Nigeria, because those are the ones that will pass the judgment. And you are owing them, you don't want to pay them. What are you telling them?
I don't think anybody wants, to eradicate corruption. Forget what they say.
Maybe you don't.
Those in power who wants to eradicate corruption. It's a political slogan that we keep talking about. Nobody wants to eradicate corruption. When you have at least 22 states in Nigeria out of 36 that are owing, judges, retired judges. So
22 of 36 states.
22. You are talking about Taraba, Abia, Nasarawa, Imo, 22 states.
Owing these gratuities.
Yes,
and so on.
Retired, yes, gratuities, pension and other, packages. Believe me.
My state no data.
Where are you from?
Ask me again. But
this is serious. This is serious state. Believe me.
Is your state there?
How can my own state be there? It's your sister that talks. Believe me, it's a very sad thing that Nigeria, you love to deceive ordinary folks. You don't like corruption. Corruption wants to kill us. But we have to kill corruption. Who is killing corruption?
But Yusuf and Ibina, for a country that's swarming with a religious fervor like ours, you are wondering why this thing must happen.
Is religiosity, does it mean godliness?
Okay, am I?
If Nigerians, if our leaders are the godly, sort of people, will our country be like this?
You mean they are not God-fearing?
Name one.
All right. We'll leave that. Again, it is open to debate. The debate will go on. Let it continue. That's the essence of the show. Ours is to provoke the discussion and help mold opinion.